Equations with integers. Here you see a few basic examples of equations, each containing an integer. The first example of 3 times m equals negative 39, you might be able to solve that in your mind. 3 times what gives you negative 39? W divided by negative 2, or what number divided by negative 2 would give you 15? If mental math doesn't work for you, here are some basic steps that you can follow to guarantee the answer. Step 1. Locate the variable. Find where it is and ask yourself what operation is happening to it right now. Once you answer that question, be prepared to do the inverse operation, the opposite. For instance, if you see addition, you need to use subtraction to undo it. If you see division, you need to use multiplication to undo it. But just remember, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side of the equation, both sides of the equal sign. Let's take a look at an example. Step 1, find the variable. Well, the variable in this case would be the h. What is happening to it? It is being added by 16. So opposite of addition would be subtraction. Let's get rid of that 16. We're trying to isolate the variable. And when we do that, the h is the only thing that is going to be left on the left-hand side. However, remember step 3. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we're actually going to subtract 16 from the 20 as well. So what is 20 minus 16? Well, the answer there would be 4. So our final answer, if we bring our equal sign straight down as well, equal sign comes down, h we got by itself, we isolated our variable, h equals 4. That is our final answer. Take a look at example 2. Step 1, find the variable. Well, in this case, it's n. What is happening to the variable? Well, it's being added by 10. So we need to get rid of that by undoing it, using the inverse operation. So we must subtract 10. And the purpose of that is to get rid of it. But remember step 3, whatever we do on one side, we must do to the other side. So it's going to be negative 16 plus 10. This is where I recommend that you slow down, rewrite the question horizontally. Negative 16 minus 10. Now we've talked about a process, 3-word process, referred to as keep, change, change. Let's abbreviate for now. Keep. We keep the first value of negative 16. We change to an addition sign, and a positive 10 becomes a negative 10. Now, I think we can understand this question a little bit more clearly. Negative 16 plus negative 10. It says the same thing as our original question, only we changed it into an addition problem. We add our two negatives together, so our final answer here was going to be negative 26. But remember, it's an equation. We need to solve for the variable, so we need to have the equal sign and the n in there. So negative 26 equals n. Example number 3. W over negative 3 equals 12. Step 1, find your variable, the w. What is happening to it? Well, it's being divided by negative 3. So the inverse operation here would be multiplication. We need to multiply by negative 3. And that cancels out our negative 3's, and it leaves us with the w. But whatever we do on one side, we must do to the other side. So now we can bring our w down, our equal sign down, and what is 12 times negative 3? Well, 12 times 3 is 36, and a positive times a negative would be a negative 36. Our last example, example 4, look at our variable. Find your variable. It's already by itself. There's no need for inverse operation. We just need to look at our subtraction question. 16 minus 19. But remember that 3-word process we need to use with subtraction. Keep, change, change. So we're going to keep that 16. We are going to change to an addition sign, and the positive 19 becomes a negative 19. When you add a positive and a negative, remember, you need to find the difference of the absolute values. In other words, just look at the numbers as regular whole numbers, a 16 and a 19. Find the difference of the high number minus the low number. 19 minus 16 would be 3. And we are going to keep the sign of the larger value. The larger absolute value here would be 19. It's negative, so we have to keep the negative sign with our answer. And we need to bring down our variable, n equals negative 3.